Hello there, Cancers. Thank you so much for stopping by for your tarot video forecast for the week of January. What are we on? January 11th through the 17th. Before we get started with your forecast, I do want to make one quick announcement. I do have group mentoring sessions that have slots still available in them. I want to let you know about that. So the first one that's coming up is on January the 13th. That's at 12:15 Mountain Time, which is also 2:15 if you're on the East Coast. And then that is 7:15 if you happen to live in the United Kingdom. Now the next one I have is Monday, which is the 18th. That's at 1 o'clock. That's Martin Luther King Day here in the United States. That's 1 o'clock Mountain Time, 3 o'clock East Coast time, and 8 o'clock p.m. in the United Kingdom. And then the last one I have scheduled for right now is January 24th. That's Sunday evening, 6:30 Mountain Time, 8:30 Eastern Time, 1:30 in the morning on Monday for those of you in the United Kingdom. So for anybody who is interested in participating in one of those, go ahead and look up my contact information on my website, amista.info, and let me know. If none of those times and dates actually work for you and you still would like to be involved in a group mentoring session, also let me know that. We'll come up with a time and date that works for both of us, and then we'll just ask anybody in the public who would like to join. So that's enough with the announcements. Let's move on to your reading, Cancer. On Monday, you have the Fool coming up in reverse. The Fool coming up in reverse, I'm getting a little different meaning off of this card than usual for you guys. So Cancer, wow, and Mercury's in retrograde this whole week if I understand correctly. I'm not an astrology guru, but I'm interested in it. So with Mercury being in retrograde, this actually kind of makes sense the way this is coming up. But the Fool, I almost said the Fool in retrograde. The Fool in reverse is talking for you guys this time about Monday that there's going to be something that you had started at some point that you had started really basically on faith without a whole lot of logical evidence to support what you were doing. And that this is something that kind of got put on the back burner is what it feels like, or it got set down. Other things just came up that were more important for a while. And I feel like whatever this is, that you started totally on faith that just became not the most important thing. I feel like you're picking this back up on Monday, or at the very least, you're thinking about what would that be like if I could pick that back up and start to work with it. But I feel like for a lot of you, you're actually picking this project back up or this idea back up and starting to work with it again on Monday. So very good card actually coming in for you. I love those leap of faiths, and if you had to put it down and you can come back and pick it back up, that's just awesome. So goodness, goodness, goodness there. That's a good card. Tuesday, Cancer. 9 of Coins showing up in reverse for you. This is just telling me that there is something about your life that you're not really happy with. So this is your life or your lifestyle. This can be anything from, you're tired of the knobs on your kitchen cabinets, or your commute to work is too long, or your wardrobe is out of date. This can be anything about your life or your lifestyle that you decide, you know what, I'm kind of tired of this. I'm going to start making changes, and you're starting to look at how can you change things? How can you make them more the way that you want them? And so this is, I have another card that talks about lifestyle change. That has more to do with health. This is more to do with tangible things generally. The drive, the commute to work is maybe the least tangible example that I could give you, but most of the time I see this as having to do with very tangible things or very tangible realities of the moment that you're changing right now. Okay, so let's see. That's 9 of Coins on Tuesday. For Wednesday, we've got another Coins card. This comes up as the Page of Coins. Now, the Page of Coins is just telling me that on Wednesday, you're getting some kind of news about money or material resources, and this news is news that it's good news. It's not anything that's bad. It's good news coming in. So maybe you're invested in the stock market and you get a message, or you find out that your investments are performing as well as you expected, or maybe even better than you expected. Or maybe you thought you were going to have to pay this really huge bill, and then you get the bill and you look at it and you realize, wow, this is a lot less than what I thought I was going to have to pay. So it's some kind of good news about money, financial things, material goods that you're getting on Wednesday. This can also talk about if you get a message about that you are going to be receiving an inheritance. It can be a message like that as well. Anything about money or finances, that's a good thing, or material goods. So let's move on. So Thursday for Cancers. Okay, what we have is the Chariot in reverse. Now the Chariot in reverse just means that on Thursday there's something that you've been working on manifesting in your life, some kind of dream or goal. And this is something that not only takes your own self-discipline and self-will, but it also takes the cooperation of other people for this to actually happen. So when this card comes in reverse on Thursday, what that tells me is that you are making progress with this situation. So I don't feel like you actually have that manifestation that you're looking for, the full fruition of it. I do feel like you're making progress with it, and you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. If you're not, this would be a card that would reassure you to say, it is coming in, don't give up, keep moving forward, keep making that progress. One foot in front of the other is how you get someplace. And that's what you want to keep doing with this situation. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, because you are getting what you're shooting for, but just not yet today. Okay, so that's Thursday's card. Then Friday, Cancer, what you have coming up is you have the Five of Cups in reverse. Five of Cups in reverse is an interesting little card. This card just says that you had a situation where you became disappointed about a project or about a relationship, and because of this disappointment, you sort of reset your priorities. You changed them up. So instead of putting more energy and effort into whatever this was that made you feel disappointed, you've kind of shifted some of that energy and effort over into some other things, some other relationships or some other projects. Well, when the Five of Cups comes up in reverse like it does on Friday, what this says is now you're going back to the old set of priorities. So where you had adjusted things because of this disappointment, now you're readjusting them back to the old way. So going back to the way things were before the disappointment. Generally, that's because something happens that makes you feel reassured that that kind of disappointment is not going to happen again, or you start to realize that there was just a misunderstanding and it really wasn't as bad as you thought it was to start with, something like that. But going back to the old set of priorities. And then on Saturday, you guys have the Justice card showing up in reverse. This is telling me that you're giving somebody some grace on Saturday. There's something happens that it would be really easy for, you would be very justified in saying, hey, that just wasn't right, man. What are you doing? Instead, what you're doing is you're giving grace to that person who did, or that group of people who did whatever it was that just wasn't right. So giving grace, withholding judgment, not coming down on somebody, just kind of letting things ride, seeing how they go. I like it when this card comes in. The reason I like it when this card comes in is because this means that this is something that we find out later on. We're really glad that we kind of let things slide and we just gave some grace. There's some kind of extenuating circumstance going on with this other person that we don't really know about, that once we hear about it, we go, oh, it makes sense why they reacted like that. Doesn't mean what they did was right. I won't say that, but it does mean that we have enough compassion to realize that for us to have come at this person full force because of what they had done would have been really, they were already in a bad place, would have been just to put them in a worse place. So it's giving grace and being thankful that you did afterwards. That's what this card in reverse means. Now, for you guys, Cancer. Now, Sunday, Cancers, you have the Emperor showing up. And this is somebody that you're going to be interacting with on Sunday. Oh, wow. For some of you, it's somebody you're interacting with. For some of you, it's just you organizing your life, doing something to make things more organized. So you could be organizing your office. You could be organizing your house a little bit better. Maybe you're organizing your bills, but there's definitely major organization energy showing up here Sunday for a lot of you. In fact, I feel like for most of you, this is going to be about adding some organization to some aspect of your life. For some of you, though, this still is somebody that you are interacting with. I'm feeling like for maybe 20% of you. And this is somebody who is reliable. They're a good friend. They have high standards, but as long as you live up to those standards or get along with them well. If you don't, you won't get along with them. But they're a good friend to have in your court because they do live in a way that is by such high standards. They're not afraid to say anything that needs to be said or to take care of business if something's going on that's not right. They're not afraid to step up to the plate and say, hey, something's going wrong here. We need to fix it. And the reason they're not is because nobody can say, oh, you big, what's that word I'm looking for? Where you just like pretend you're all holy and good and you're not really. It starts with a P and I can't think of it. I'm sure one of you will think of it and put it in the comments. But, you know, basically, you know, well, let's just put it down. We'll just use a child's word for this. But you big pretender, nobody's going to say, you big pretender, you know, you act this way here, but then you act this way over here, you know, so they can say what they need to say because they have real integrity. They don't waffle around things. They say what they mean and they mean what they say. And so people just are not able to come up to them and say, you know, well, you know, what's the big deal? Why are you making such a stand here? You're not so big on this, that, or the other. So they just have no fear when something needs to be taken care of. They know that they can handle it. So this is a really good guy to have in your corner, especially if you have something going on that you need some help with and it's something that is of interest to them, or if you're somebody that's important to them, or if you are doing something that's important to them, they are really good to have on your side because they can definitely step up to the plate. So anyway, interacting with a person like that on Sunday for you Cancers. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by, hanging out with me. I do appreciate all your likes, your comments, your shares, your subscribes to my channel. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of group mentoring, get a hold of me, let me know. Contact information is on my website. Everyone have a fantastic week. I'll see you back here next week. Peace out.